Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all Ohio students, sponsored by the Ohio Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. Thanks so much for joining us today. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. As attendees, you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. A reminder that your camera and your microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you, so the only way to get your questions asked and answered is through that Q&A button. This is just one of the many sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at oacac.org. And another reminder that this presentation is being recorded and will be made available within about a week at that same website, oacac.org. And with that being said, I'd like to turn it over to our presenter.
Thank you very much, Matt. I appreciate that. Hello and welcome. My name is Brandon Weiss with PIA, the Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics. Before I even get started today, whether you are here with me live in this moment or watching this as a recording, I just want to commend you for taking that step to explore your educational options and therefore empower yourself in your future. That is what today is about. I'm going to shine a light on PIA, our programs, the career destinations that they can lead to, and hopefully fill you in and empower you on if this is a path that you would want to walk down to facilitate your future. With that said, I have quite a good amount of visuals that I'll be excited to share with you today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so I don't just tell you about what I'm talking about, but rather show you. So PIA has been around for 90 years, and simply stated, PIA, the Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics, prepares and propels our graduates into careers in the industries of aviation, aerospace, robotics, and beyond technologies, which I will touch on throughout this presentation. What makes PIA such an elite and unique educational opportunity is many things, but one that I'll bring to your attention right away. It's the fact that we allow our students to live out the lessons they learn in our hands-on educational programs by working on our fleet of on-campus aircraft. So whether it be planes, helicopters, aviation equipment, our students aren't only learning the theoretical foundations, they actually get to experience those lessons. We find this as a wonderful way, not only to properly prepare our students for the industry, but also a way that students enjoy and flourish in our program by really getting to ingest the information, not only verbally or in a classroom, but by getting to actually see it and experience it. I've had so many students who didn't even know if furthering their education was the right path for them. And then when they uncovered our hands-on education approach and the way that our program is set up, it sparked a passion in them to go to school and get the skills necessary. So at PIA, another amazing aspect is beyond getting your associate degree in specialized technology or a certification in one of our programs culminate with students having an opportunity to test for and obtain their FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, airframe and power plant certification, and or their FCC, Federal Communication Commission, General Radio Telephone Operator's License. So not only are they getting an education, they are getting a governmental certification or licensing, because excluding experimental aircraft, you cannot work on an aircraft unless you are certified or licensed to do so. That is why our graduates are so sought after and so needed in aviation, aerospace, and as I mentioned, into so many other areas. So PIA graduates have gone on to work for NASA, SpaceX, Aerojet Rocketdyne, to name a few aerospace organizations, Pratt & Whitney, Lockheed Martin, to name some technology companies. Some of our students working at Lockheed Martin, graduates, I should say, they love to share with us what they do, but they actually have governmental clearance because the technology that they're working on is so sensitive and confidential that they can't even share it with me. So if you're looking to work with literally cutting edge level technology, this could be a path for you to explore, as well as commercial and cargo airlines, commercial airlines like Piedmont, Boeing, American. Disney will actually hire our graduates to work on roller coasters. concept car companies. Stat Medevac, one of our graduates works with transporting medical supplies. He makes sure that their helicopters and aircraft are working at an optimal level to be able to transport passengers and medical equipment. So many different avenues that our graduates are qualified to explore. And today I'll get into some of them. So as you can see, that's our Learjet that our students get to work on, smiling in front of it. PIA is a nonprofit educational institution, and we were ranked Forbes #1 two-year trade school. Now, that is not for aviation and aerospace. That is taking into account all trade schools in the nation, and we are ranked #1, something we are very proud of, but another aspect that really facilitates our graduates' future of landing the best possible career options and having those options. It's not uncommon for a PIA graduate to receive 4, 6, 8 job offers before even completing our program. Now, I don't want to mislead you. That does not mean that they can say, okay, I got my job, 2 weeks left of my program, I'm done. Contingent on them completing our program and getting their license or certification. But it's nice to know when some people finish school and have that in-between period of struggling to find employment in the industry that they train to be in, that our students already have that job set up. Not uncommon them to finish school on a Friday and start working their career on a Monday. So, and the Forbes ranking, our history, how much we pour into our students and prepare them, even in a career service sense of interviewing skills, resume writing, all plays into that and sets them up for success in that way. We have campuses in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's our main campus. And then we have branch campuses in Youngstown, Ohio, Hagerstown, Maryland, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Other than the difference in location, there are some slight program differences, which I'll share with you shortly as I go on with this presentation. But just want to make you aware that we are the Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics, but because of need and demand of students in the industry, we have bled out from Pittsburgh to Youngstown, Hagerstown, and Myrtle Beach. What I love to do is share alumni spotlights, not only because I'm super proud of our graduates and what they have accomplished, but I also hope that they could serve as motivation and inspiration for some of you to look at someone who is just a few years ahead of you in the industry, who not that long ago perhaps was in high school, perhaps attending a career fair, not sure what their next steps would be. So I want to share with you Chris Hoffman, who now is the Director of Launch Operations at Astra Aerospace. But this summer we celebrated Chris for his contributions while working at SpaceX on the Falcon 9 rocket, which was used in this summer's SpaceX launch. That is just one avenue that our graduates can go down. We are so very proud of Chris for what he is currently accomplishing at Astra and for what he accomplished at SpaceX. I don't know about you, but me, I work in the industry, but my family, my friends, we were kind of captivated by this summer's SpaceX launch, something a long time in the making. It's been exciting to see this space race kind of be reignited, and SpaceX was a huge part of this summer. One of the opportunities that our students are afforded, and I say students because while still in a PIA program, is to compete in the AMC, the Aerospace Maintenance Competition. And the best way I could describe this, it is the Olympics of aerospace repair, engineering, and building. 2 years ago, it was in Atlanta, Georgia. Last year, it was in Orlando, Florida. It is a huge event. It's viewed by people inside the industry, outside the industry, just really something that people have a passion for. And PIA has been honored several years to be able to compete in this, but this is not just for colleges. Aerospace organizations and professional airlines will send teams to compete. And as you can see, PIA has done pretty well. What a wonderful opportunity for our students to get to experience, for their family to cheer them on at, but also what an amazing thing to put on their resume before they've even completed our program, that they're getting this firsthand industry experience in a fun competition way. Kind of, if you're familiar with Skills USA in high school, just take that to a collegiate professional level. And that is what the AMC competition is. But what you're going to find about me, as much as I try to paint pictures with words for you, I'd rather show you. So this is PIA's last couple participations at the AMC competition.
can't believe how big this place is and how many people we've seen and how many people we've met. The experience is awesome.
What I would like to do now is just take a quick break for a piece of advice and some potential insight. So my insight first is, by all means, like Matt said, take advantage of that Q&A box. I'll check in on that throughout the presentation. I want to make this personal to you, but I'll also give you a chance, if you're like me and you think of 3 questions after this presentation ends, or if you're watching us recorded, perhaps not in this moment, I'll give you a chance where I can have someone from PIA reach out to you and answer any questions you may have that I touched on and you want them to go a little deeper on, or perhaps a question that comes to your mind that I didn't touch on in this presentation. My piece of advice that I want to share with you, I honestly believe this to be true and have seen this to be true. When you pair passion, positivity, drive, determination, and the right education together, anything is accomplishable. So that is what this event is all about. And that is what I want for each and every one of you, whether it be PIA, aviation, aerospace, or a different path. Do your due diligence to look into the potential paths that are out there for you to determine which is the best fit for you. And if it excites you and you would be excited to learn and work in this field, one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves in life, of course, outside family, friends, and those aspects, is finding an enjoyment in our employment, having a career that we're excited to go to, proud to share with people, and of course can financially provide for us and our family. With that, I'm going to dive back in because as I've made my theme, I do have some visuals that I love to share with you. So the next thing you might say is, what does it look like to be a student at PIA? So at PIA, we are not a traditional 4-year school. Nothing wrong with that educational option, but you're not going to find huge lecture halls. We have a 15-to-1 instructor ratio while in our hangar. What you are going to find is hands-on education. Our students, like I said, living out the lessons they learn by working on aircraft, aviation equipment, and really getting to experience the lessons that they learn. About 60% of the time that a student is in our program, they are in our hangar, getting to work with their hands, using that combination of intelligence and technical skills to solve problems. But again, I think the pictures were great, but I'd much rather show you what a day in the life of PIA looks like. That is what it looks like in the word sense, but you've come to know me already. I'm going to actually show you. If you walked on our campus and went into our hangar, this is what you would see: passionate people and technology coming together. Pride, purpose, prestige. That is the tagline of PIA. That is what we strive for every single one of our students to have in their educational experience and also carry over into their career. Be excited to tell people what they do. Feel an honor in what they do. And if this is important to you, I know it is to a lot of our students moving into graduates and graduates as well, to benefit the world in some way. Technology is at its best when it serves and benefits people. And that's what our students do in a multitude of ways. So I mentioned we were ranked Forbes #1 two-year trade school, and those are just some of the factors that went into that ranking that we are so very proud of, a ranking that our students literally get to put on their resume and really allows them to get the amount of offers that they do and the positions that they do right out of school. I'll get into this later, but our programs are 21 months long or 16 months long. So if you're in high school, 18 years old, graduating high school, you're finished with our program roughly at 20 years old, making good money in a solid industry with a great education behind you. So great path to consider if you love technology, problem solving, and are just someone who wants to use that combination of detective skills, I'll call them, because I kind of say our students with what they do with diagnosing, repairing, building, they're kind of like a detective, but instead of who done it, it's what went wrong and how can I improve it? And this excites them to kind of have that problem solving mentality and use the technical skills that they're armed with to make that possible. Another PIA alumni spotlight that I love to share is Kate Fulmer. Big misconception is that girls don't get involved in these industries. Kate is a living example that that isn't true. Came to our Pittsburgh campus. She actually worked at NASA before moving on to being currently employed at Blue Origin Aerospace, which right now is a project to colonize the moon. So cool thing if you're interested in technology, by all means, some YouTube ammo if you want to check that out after my presentation, some of the projects they're working on over at Blue Origin. An amazing example of another PIA success story. So AMTs, that's what we train at PIA, Aviation Maintenance Technicians. And I talked about pride, purpose, prestige. As they should, they have a great amount of pride in what they do, whether it's working for commercial airlines, cargo airlines, commercial airlines safely getting people from point A to point B, cargo airlines, ensuring the supplies that make our world go round are delivered in a timely, orderly fashion. Medical transport, providing the organs, the patient transportation that literally saves lives, whether it's working in aerospace, helping humanity forge forward, any of these aspects, AMTs are such a huge aspect of our society that sometimes we don't realize, so much so that May 24th is actually AMT Day, an annual holiday to celebrate their accomplishments. This is a wonderful thing that our students and graduates relish in, as they should, because of the drive, determination, and hard work that they put into what they do. It's actually celebrated on May 24th because that's Charles Taylor's birthday, who is considered the forefather of aviation maintenance. He was the mechanic for the Wright brothers, which ties into PIA wonderfully because we were actually founded out of the Glenn Curtiss and Orville Wright flying service. You can't get roots tracing further back in aviation than that. But what I want to do is show you what is an AMT. I think this will fill in a little bit more of the detailed gaps on that.
When you think of a career as a mechanic, often the first thing that comes to mind is working in an auto shop, doing the repair and maintenance on our everyday vehicles. But what about those vehicles that travel thousands of miles in mere hours, transporting goods and people across the world as part of their everyday commute? Aviation maintenance technicians are the men and women who ensure the safety and reliability of our aircraft each day. Before a plane takes off, an AMT has worked tirelessly to ensure that the aircraft is mechanically safe to fly. By diagnosing mechanical and electrical problems, completing routine inspections, repairing damage to wings, landing gears, and other components, and certifying that aircraft meets the standards set forth by the FAA. This work is led by an elite group of professionals known as AMP mechanics, who train for a minimum of 1,900 hours to understand the complex and unique systems that make up an aircraft, working on planes, jets, drones, blimps, helicopters, or rockets. Their highly specialized skill set makes them sought-after employees, not only in the aviation sector, but in many non-aviation related fields. If you are seeking a career that is fast-paced, challenging, and hands-on, then a career as an aviation maintenance technician might be right for you.
As you just heard, planes, jets, drones, helicopters, blimps, rockets. If it moves mechanically, our graduates are qualified to work on it. All the way into automotive, cruise ships. So you name something that moves in a level of technology, and our graduates are qualified and probably are working in that industry. I'll give you a chance to actually track our graduates and where they work coming up shortly in the presentation. I touched on our roots tracing back to the Glenn Curtiss Orville Wright flying service. But I love to show this because from humble beginnings, it was only 1903 that the Wright brothers took their famous first flight. And how far we have come in the aviation industry, then birthing the aerospace industry from those humble beginnings that you're seeing right there. But I am equally excited and amped to share with you how far we still have to go. So PIA is so proud of our past. We are excited about the opportunities we can provide in the present for you, that next generation of AMT, to fuel the future. Because just as an aircraft needs fuel to fly, this industry needs AMTs, as they are the fuel of this industry, to build, repair, and ensure that the aircraft of all that I've mentioned, of all different variations, are able to work. So at PIA, as I mentioned, you are not going to lack for a chance to make your mark on this world in a positive, beneficial way. I showed you how far, I talked about how far we have come, and I'm going to give you a glimpse into the near future, not hopes and wishes, but actual technology that our graduates are working on that is going to be rolled out to humanity in the next 10 years, even less, 2 to 5 years for this. Flying cars, Uber Elevate. GE just invested $100 million in flying car technology. They're going to, just like you'd order an Uber car to your house, you can order a flying car. An amazing technology that will make the world smaller in a wonderful way, allowing people to commute to work, vacation destinations in a much more seamless way. That's one of the technologies that if you came to our school, by the time you got out, you could easily work on. Graduates are currently working on. Another one, I love it how pieces of science fiction plucked right out of the pages of a science fiction novel or grabbed from the scene of a movie from 10, 20, 30 years ago are now our current reality. And this is an amazing example of that. The Space Hotel. Yes, it's already being built. It is going to happen. Space tourism. Blue Origin is one of the companies leading the charge with that. An amazing opportunity where maybe grandma and grandpa go to the Grand Canyon. Now they're going to go up into space. You and your family, instead of going to Disney, nothing wrong with Disney, I love it, but maybe they're going to go up to the Space Hotel. What an exciting opportunity. It's currently valued at $250,000 for a trip, but just like the first TV that came out, the goal is to get that price down so a regular family could afford it. But having that lofty price tag on in the beginning, if you're an AMT that worked on the Space Hotel, you get to go up for free if you choose to. Not to work, as a benefit of the job. Nice benefit and perk to be appreciated in that way and get to experience Earth from a whole different angle, we'll say. So we talk about benefits. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention and bring up COVID right now and the pandemic that's facing the world in general. So right now, commercial airlines, because of restrictions, because of travel bans, all different reasons, is slightly down. Even before the pandemic, about less than 25% of our students even went into commercial airlines. But if that is what your goal is, I don't want you to be dissuaded from that goal. By the time you finish, say it's your senior year, say you're out of high school, by the time you go through our 21-month program at PIA, all the industry insight I have, as well as the medical insight regarding the pandemic, the aviation industry, commercial aviation industry, is going to bounce back stronger than ever. I don't know about you, but I sometimes feel pent up. We can't do as much as we used to. So I think once it is able and people feel comfortable, once we defeat this pandemic as a world, which we will, it's going to come back in a wonderful way. But that was just a side note that I wanted to share with y'all, because I don't want you to be discouraged from a dream or a goal because of a current situation like COVID. You work for a commercial airline, benefit of the job, you fly for free. Your parents, your spouse, your children, your friends get buddy passes. You get out of work on a Thursday and you have a long weekend, you want to take a trip to Florida. One of the most pricey aspects of a trip is the travel costs, right? You fly for free. And it's a way of saying thank you to the hardworking AMTs who make commercial airline flight possible each and every day. So never get involved in an industry solely because of a perk, but it's nice to be appreciated in that great way. So now what I'd like to do is talk about PIA's two programs. And we are an extremely specialized institution. So we offer two programs, Aviation Maintenance Technology and Aviation Electronics Technology, more commonly referred to as avionics. So our avionics program culminates in students being licensed by the Federal Communication Commission, and it's 21 months in duration. It is only offered at our Pittsburgh main campus as a 21-month associate degree program. Great option. And in a minute, I'll talk about what is avionics. The other programs that we offer is Aviation Maintenance Technology, culminates in our students being certified by the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration. It is offered as a 21-month associate and specialized technology degree program at our Pittsburgh campus, but is also offered as a 16-month certification program at any of our branch campuses. So none of the gen ed, just diving right into the aviation maintenance aspect of the education. Which you choose, we're happy to have a PIA admission representative work with you on which program would best suit you and your goals for the future. For the right person, we also do offer our dual ticket program where you can complete aviation maintenance technology and aviation electronics technology, have that chance to be certified by the FAA and licensed by the FCC. And you can do that in 33 months. Talk about setting yourself apart from the industry. All of our graduates, no matter what program, are sought after, but talking about making yourself on a whole nother level of educated, trained, and prepared to be offered any job out there. That's a great avenue to explore and potentially go down. So what is avionics, aviation electronics? The simplest way I explain it, and right there on the screen, you're gonna see all the different aspects that they work on, but it's the brains of the aircraft. Everything that communicates with the aircraft that allows it to fly in an optimal way. Navigation, communication, radar system, flight control, automatic piloting systems. They're going to troubleshoot, solve, build, and repair all the aspects that set the pilot up for success. Especially now with so many aircraft having what we call a glass flight deck, where everything is digital as opposed to analog, even more need for them. Aviation maintenance focuses more on the brawn of the aircraft, the engine, the wings, the landing gear, the physicality of the aircraft. That's what our aviation maintenance technicians do. Those are some of the skills that they use and some of the different things that they work on. Airframe and power plant is a fancy way of saying body and engine of the aircraft. And while exploring PIA, you don't necessarily have to know which program is best for you. That's something that you and we can work with you on to dive a little deeper into. So I told you what is an AMT. I shared with you our programs, but what I'd like to do now is share with you an in-depth look on some of the skills in a quick segment that our graduates, students learn in our program that they take into graduation, into their careers, but also how these skills that they learn on aircraft are so transitionable into other areas like robotics, medical supply, all different areas of technology that you'll see. So this is PIA breaking down the skills we teach. Our students are surgeons of aircraft. And I love that analogy because just as a surgeon or a doctor, would diagnose someone with a broken arm and help heal it, diagnose someone who's having a heart issue and help heal it, fix it. That's what our students do. Look at the arms on a person as the wings of an aircraft, the heart as the engine, the legs as the landing gear. And a lot of the equipment and skills you just saw right there are kind of reminiscent of what a surgeon would use looking into a body. That's what our students do with aircraft. They'll actually use a borescope, a fiber optic camera, to go inside difficult to access areas of the aircraft to diagnose a problem, begin to solve a problem without having to take apart that entire aircraft unnecessarily. So one question I always get is, what is our graduate employment statistics? I'll just show those right there and let them speak for themselves. And I should mention with that, that is not getting a job. That is getting a job inside one of the technology industries that I spoke about. Not going to our school and getting a job, nothing wrong with this, but at a department store. That means inside the industry. And Youngstown, 43 out of 43. Let's just take Myrtle Beach, 44 out of 47. That doesn't mean those three didn't get jobs. It's just not in the first 6 months of graduation. So that means maybe they wanted to move across the country and they wanted to hold out for that position in California because they always had dreams of living in San Diego. So it's really important to look into graduate employment statistics for any school that you're potentially going to go into. If you're going to invest your time, effort, energy, and money, you want to make sure that that investment pays off with tangible employment. Speaking of tangible employment, right now, 76% of aviation technicians are over 50 years old. That's kind of a mind-blowing statistic. There is a huge need for that next generation to step up. Not only that, but huge room for growth because 22% are 31 to 50. 76% of the industry bleeding over to that 22% could retire tomorrow. So not only entry-level jobs, but quickly move up through. That tiny green sector is aviation technicians under 30 years old. The average salary for an AMT in the United States is over $63,000. So definitely a salary conducive to a life to be able to take care of yourself and your family. And these are some projections put out by Boeing over the next 18 years of all the jobs all over the world, all the AMT jobs that will be needed. And when I say AMT, Aviation Maintenance Technician, that aviation technician, that also includes in there an AET, Aviation Electronics Technician, kind of clumped together there for the same thing. So a plethora of opportunities for you if you get the right training for these industries to work anywhere you want in the country or in the world. That brings me to my next aspect. We set our students up for success across the board. And that doesn't just mean giving them the skills that they need to work on aircraft and succeed in the industry in that sense. We work with them on interviewing skills, the soft skills. No matter how trained you are, you have to be able to look someone in the eye, shake their hand, and land that dream job. Resume writing. A resume represents you before an employer even gets to meet you. But what we also do, because we have such great partnerships all throughout the industry, we have career decision counseling and on-campus recruiting where companies, American Airlines, Boeing, Delta, you name a company, they'll send representatives to our campus to interview our students. They don't even have to leave campus. They are seeking out our students at career fairs or on-campus recruiting days that we have. And we are going to set that student up for success to be able to land that ultimate position by working with them throughout their education. But it doesn't end after graduation. Our career service, as long as PIA is in existence, so throughout your life, say 10 years goes by and you've had a great career working at X airline, but for whatever reason, you decide that if you're like my mom, you've had enough of these Pennsylvania winters and you're going to go south. You want to go live somewhere warmer. Just a personal family choice. You reach out to our career service team and we'll open our Rolodex of contacts and make you aware of job opportunities in this new location that you want to go. Let's just call it Orlando, Florida. I have a sister that lives there. So it's nice to know that not only do we facilitate and help you get your first career position, it's a lifelong partnership. Nice to have that support system behind you, because at PIA, truly, from our admission staff, helping you explore the opportunity, to our amazing instructors, to our career service team, it's just a group of passionate people that are here to set students up for success. That's why I'm at PIA. I love it that I get to shine a light on an amazing industry and empower people and empower futures. That's what I want for each and every one of you. So I mentioned, if you wanted to track, I shared with you Kate and Chris, some of our PIA alumni spotlights. You want to track any of our graduates, you can go on pia.edu/career services to check out any of our graduates and where they're working in all different industries all over the country and world. Nice little resource for you to have. Another resource I'll share, give you a little further insight about yourself. At pia.edu, we have a career readiness quiz. It'll give you some insight regarding your personality, your passion on if this industry would be right for you. Great tool for you to use if you're even considering walking down this path or anything I said sparked a passion. You can go on there. It's absolutely free to take that career readiness quiz. It can be completed in about 7 minutes, so it's pretty quick. And we'll give you some personalized info and insight on if this industry be a good fit for you. That's what it's all about. I encourage each of you to look into at least 3 educational institutions and at least 3 career paths. The analogy I always use, it's kind of like you telling me that vanilla ice cream is your favorite, but you've only tried chocolate and vanilla. Maybe vanilla remains your favorite for life, but until you've tried strawberry, Rocky Road, my favorite, how do you really determine your favorite? The same is true of career and education. You have to really take a peek down multiple paths to determine what is the best fit for you. Because that's one of those questions that you could grab insight from admissions advisors, counselors, parents, friends on, but it's a decision that has to come inside you because there is no set correct career or educational path. Different strokes for different folks. It has to speak to your personality and your passions. And once you identify that, you should be excited to walk down that path. That's the #1 barometer. When a student walks in our hangar for the first time, I can almost tell more from their face than I can from their words. If their face lights up, I know that this student is not only excited, but going to succeed inside this industry. What I'll do now, whether you're watching live or watching recorded, you can scan that QR code or type into a browser, pia.edu/learn more. Get your cell phone out, take a picture of the screen right now, do it right now, whatever you want. Pause that YouTube video if you're watching me in a recording, give you a second to do that. You can go on and select today's event and today's date. Or if you don't, you can just hit event not listed and you're just going to put in your information, your name and email, perhaps a phone number, however you want to be contacted. And that could be something as simple as a question that you want someone to call, text, email, reach out to you and answer. Or perhaps you want to take that next step and come to one of our campuses, whichever one it may be, and tour our hangar and really see the aircraft up close and walk down our hallways and see if this opportunity would be right for you. Maybe you want to attend our upcoming virtual open house in November. We'll extend an invitation. Whatever you want to do, and if you're seeing this after November, we have other ones coming up. We try to have them every couple months, so we can invite you to that. So I encourage you, if anything I said sparked any level of interest or passion, take advantage of those next steps options at pia.edu/learn more or scan that QR code. I genuinely want the best and brightest future for each and every one of you. And I think the way that you get there, you're already a step down the right path. The fact that you're seeing this right now means that you're invested in your future, and even more so, taking steps in the right direction, whatever direction that ends up being. And I encourage you, if you're a high school student, look into scholarships. There are some amazing scholarship opportunities out there that go beyond simply academics and athletics. There are scholarships if you are left-handed. If you like to draw, there's Doodle for Google. Mike Rowe has a scholarship specifically for trade education. That's a great way to empower your future and win that before you even know potentially which school you're going to go to. So as you're exploring colleges, explore scholarships. There's many free websites out there that you can do that on. What I want to do right now is take a quick break and just touch on any questions. Great question. Do you need any mechanical experience to enter a program at PIA? You do not. You need no mechanical experience to enter a program at PIA. Great if you had a technical class in high school, you attended career and technical high school, wonderful. You worked on a car in your garage with your dad. All that is great and would lay a foundation, but all I'm looking for is passionate people, people who are excited to work in this industry. So you do not need to feel that you are discounted from this opportunity simply because you haven't had an opportunity to get any direct technical or mechanical experience, say. Another question that frequently asked is, if I absolutely know that I want to go to PIA, everything you said spoke to me, this is the path that I want to walk, what do I have to do next? Well, it's actually a requirement at PIA for you to tour our campus. So, and that'll put you on the first step of being in contact with an admission representative to set up all the next steps that you can take. That we have specialists who will help you through financial aid. We have financial aid for those who qualify, but really coming down to tour our campus would be the next, not only best step for you to take, but that essential step for you to take in moving towards attending PIA. With that said, I just want to thank the Ohio Association of Counselors for putting on this event, StriveScan. You find a way or you find an excuse. And a big shout out to both those organizations for finding a way this year for you to still be able to explore your educational options despite some of the conditions going on in the world, not allowing us to get together in the large career fair sense in a physical gymnasium or assembly hall that we have in the past. So thank you to them. And with each and every one of you, good luck in all you do. I wish you the best and brightest future. Explore those options and go after those goals. With that said, I'm Brandon with PIA. Thank you so much for your time and have a good rest of your day.
Great, thank you so much. And to our attendees, thank you for joining us today. A reminder that when you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We appreciate any feedback you can provide as we always look to make improvements on these events. And also, this is just one of many sessions being hosted, so please be sure to sign up for additional ones at oacac.org. And again, in about a week, you will be able to find this session recording as well as other session recordings at that same website, oacac.org. Thank you to our attendees as well as our presenters, and have a great day, everyone.